Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Crazy Bake. It's just me for this recipe. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do naan breads the way I do it. I have the ingredients all set up. I will obviously link the recipe in the description below. So yeah, obviously I will go through the ingredients what I have out as well. I'm going to get you guys set up on the tripod and we'll crack on. Hope you enjoyed the video. Right guys, what we're going to do is we're going to put our yeast, fast acting. One sachet is about 7 grams. You're going to put it into your bowl with your sugar, which is 1 teaspoon of sugar, and 125 ml of lukewarm water. I'm just going to give that a stir with we'll whisk it up with a fork. I'm just going to set this aside for about 5 minutes, and just till it's like fluffy and bubbly. Basically like the bubbles in it, but they've got to be really a lot bigger. I'm going to set that aside for 5 minutes. And I'm going to get another bowl for our flour. Which is here. Let's give that a wash. Now we're going to mix in this is our flour, which I'm using wholemeal flour, 250 grams. In there with your salt. I'm also going to use my hands just to mix that in. We'll be back. Right, we have our mixture in here, the flour that we put in the beginning. We also have our yeast mix that we've let for 5 minutes and it has formed bubbles. That is what you want. Just going to make a little hole in the middle and we're just going to pour that in. Pour that in there. Now we're also going to add into that is our yogurt, which is 3 tablespoons of natural yogurt. Spoon. Now we're also going to add in our salt, which is we added our salt, sorry, our butter, which is here, which is a, how much to put, 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm actually going to add just 1 tablespoon of butter, because we basically need the other tablespoon for later on in the video. I just need a whisk to mix it all together. I'm going to use a wooden spoon. I'm not really, haven't got everything on hand today. Just try and break the butter up. If it gets too stiff, you can add a little bit of water. Just try and bring it all together. I'm just going to use my hands now to try and bring it all together. It looks like it's all sort of mixed in there now. Doesn't matter if it's not all obviously, you know, mixed in. You've got most of it in. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get some flour. That also use the flour that you've made the bread with to flour your surface, because you're going to knead this for roughly about 8 minutes. So while I do that, I'm just going to quickly wash this bowl out. Like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually flour the surface and knead this bread, or the naan bread, for about 8 minutes. This I'm just using Asda's wholemeal flour, bread flour. I'm just going to knead it for about 8 minutes. Oh yeah. Right, so after 8 minutes of kneading your dough, or until it's smooth, and you're going to need a bowl and some oil. I'm going to use a pastry brush and just brush around the bowl, just so you're going to put your dough in here, and then you're going to cover it up in a warm place for an hour until it's doubled in size. This just stops it sticking to the bowl and helps it to rise easily. I'm just going to roll it out, make it into a proper nice ball, and stick it in my bowl and get some cling film. I'm also going to put some oil on my cling film as well. That's just so it don't stick to the cling film if it rises too high. Just use my fingers. Just like that. And stick that on there like that. What I'm also going to do as well is grab a glass dish, and the kettle's just been boiled, so I'm going to put some hot water into a glass dish and stick this into the oven. It'll help with the process of speeding up the rising. As you can see, I've got the hot water on the bottom, right at the bottom. I'm going to literally stick this on the middle shelf. I could put that up there actually. Put it up on the bottom shelf. And that'll go in there for an hour until it's doubled in size. Right, so I've just got it out of the oven now, where it's been resting. It's risen. It's been there for an hour. So what I'm going to do is just going to knock it back basically, and just knead it just for a little bit like that. Just for a little bit. Now what we're going to do is basically cut it into 6 pieces, and then you're going to roll it out into roughly an oval shape every bit of basically. This will do 6. Well, it also depends on how big you cut it. I'm just going to roll mine out like a little sausage. You want them roughly to about a centimetre thick, which is probably about like a pound coin size. Or something like that. That one's quite big, so I'm going to roughly get 7 out of mine. Could use a rolling pin, that's what I'm probably going to use. Does say 6, but like I say, it all depends on how big you want them and stuff. So just going to flatten these ones down quickly. What I'm going to do is I'll do it at 6 as it says. What we'll do is we'll just add a little bit onto each one, like that. And now Can do them into an oval shape if you want, but that's the way I'm going to do mine. Is just roll them out basically. I'm going to do this to all of them. And then what I'm going to do with your remaining butter, I'm going to melt that down and just put it on the sides with a pastry brush. Just so it cooks the sides of them. Like that. Obviously you haven't got to have them massive. You can do them, roll them out to whatever size you want. You could do mini ones, obviously they'll take longer to cook. You do bigger ones if you want. It's your recipe, so it's about the way you want them to be. Like that. And then go this one. Sorry for knocking the camera. So I'm just going to stick this in the microwave just to melt it down a bit. You also want a non-stick frying pan, and you're literally going to I'm going to brush them both sides with the melted butter, and you're literally just going to do the naan breads 3 minutes each side. Literally 3 minutes each side over a high heat. That's all I'm going to do, is literally just brush them in my oil, or my marsh should I say. We've got a frying pan over here. Let's go over to this station. Literally, frying pan is hot. Just gonna put that down on there like that for about 3 minutes each side. I'm also gonna, while it's in there, I'm gonna brush the other side. Obviously, as you can tell, they're all different shapes and sizes. It doesn't really matter. I love these, especially if you've got like a dipping sauce. Nice bit of olive oil with crushed up garlic is even nice. High heat, literally 3 minutes each side. Or you can either use dip it in balsamic vinegar. Also need a pair of tongs just to flip them over rather than using my fingers. Obviously some are thinner than the others, so they might take a little slightly longer. And turn it down, as you can tell it is starting to do nicely under there. I've got it on the rapid one. Really, I should be using the back one, but this one's more easier for you to see. So I've turned it down to roughly about the same as hot as that would get. Nearly coming up to the time. It's doing lovely. And I'll flip that one over and do the other side for 3 minutes. Obviously checking it now because I'm using a rapid one, I don't want it to be cremated. There we go, so I'm going to flip that one over now. If not, if you don't want, if you're worried about cremating them, burning them slightly, you could also, if not, just grease the pan. But that is beautiful. Nice naan bread. Fill it up, cut it open, fill it up with your favourite meat. Or salad. Basically, I'll do this until they're all done. See, that side's looking lovely. Very nearly there. Just turn it up slightly. Obviously I don't want it burnt. I think this is like the thickest one I've actually got. I like my naan breads thin, see I hate it when you go to the shops sometimes and they're so thick it's just like chewing on basically a lump of dough. As you can see, the pan is extremely hot now. I want the smoke coming off it, so I keep turning it down and turn it up when I actually need it heat hot. You can see that is done for me. Slightly under, it's got like 20 odd seconds left. That is nice and done. Don't want it no done than that, obviously it'll be cremated. That is beautiful. I'm going to let that cool down and crack on with the rest. So, just browning these ones off. I actually have 3 here already. Which I'm just going to put on a cooling rack. Just to cool down slightly. I've put them on the back ring now rather than the front one, as it was just getting really too hot. So you want them on like a medium sized ring, but high heat. As you can see, they are starting to thicken up, get a bit more thicker in the frying pan. Where's my tongs gone? Oh, look at that, beautiful. Once this pan gets hot, you don't actually have to do, they do a lot quicker, so you're not really like 3 minutes each side. They say about 6 minutes, so it's like 3 minutes each side, but obviously the pan's hot now, so it's doing a lot quicker. I just need a tray. Obviously, when you do it, let them cool down, because obviously they're going to be really hot. Really tasty as well. I did try a bit of one, and it kind of burnt my mouth off. Also, one side is actually got butter on. The other side I've just slightly oiled, because basically I ran out of melted butter. Which the butter side actually does go brown a lot quicker than the oiled side. As you can tell, that's butter, that's oil. Got one here that is cooled down as well. That's the inside of it, your naan bread. You could eat it, just tear it off and eat it like that in a dip, in a Turkish dip, like I think it's like tiki. I've made it on a vlog before, on a cooking channel before. Haven't done it for a while. Or salad. I'll show you at the end. So they look pretty good to me, them ones. I'm just going to put them on a rack just to cool down. Ooh, come here. Now I'm going to go in for the last one. This is obviously buttered side. Then I'm going to go over the top with just a little oil. So yeah, this is the last one in there now. Okay, so as you can tell, I actually took my eyes off of it for a couple of minutes and it got a bit burnt. See, that's what you don't want. This is okay. That is cremated. But still edible. Still going to eat it, we're not going to throw it away. It's still good to cook, eat.
Who was sticking my house out?
A bit longer and then that one is done. Yeah, just the corner. That is crazy number one. There you go, so that's done. One side cremated, one side not. That's because I took my eyes off of it for 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm just going to leave them to cool down and then I'll show you the finished product. Right, so here's your naan bread. Obviously it's a lot smaller than naan breads that you would get into like a takeaway, an Indian takeaway, and it is slightly a lot thicker. But you could also, I was just going to say something. You could also use this for like a pita bread. It's virtually nearly the same recipe as a pita bread, but obviously a naan bread should have been a lot more thinner. So yeah, I'm not going to use all these. I probably will end up freezing some of them until if I do have a curry. But you could, like I said, turn it into a pita bread. And you could have your salad, a nice dip, or you could get yourself some meat or chicken or whatever. This is kebab meat. You could shove it in there. Oh, I'm trying to be nosy.
Yep.
Or you could stick it in there. You know, add a lot more salad if you wanted to. Stick some cucumber in there, like so, like that, and then you could cut it in half.
Or just eat it like that.
Yeah, if you don't want to be, if you want to be polite, you could cut it in half, or you could just eat it as a whole. And there you go. So there you go. Even though it is naan bread, like I say, you can use it as pita bread. If you do it, obviously, slightly thicker. But that's still good as I can tell it's not actually that thick. But that in a nice curry or something. But even as naan bread, as pita bread, sorry, it is virtually the same recipe. So there, nice naan bread. I will tear one up because I know my sister wants to try a bit. As naan bread. That if you got like, I have a dip here. So if not, dip it in there. Which is really nice. Or in a curry. Or if you don't want it as naan bread, you can have it as pita bread. So yeah, you're getting 2 for the price of 1. Yeah, if you enjoyed that video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you guys next time with a new video. Bye for now.